Today I want to simplify the forehand technique a little bit. I know a lot of words have been lost in the preparation and follow-throughs and everything in between, but actually what matters is the moment of contact, because at that moment we tell the ball how the ball should fly and not how we do the preparation. That doesn't really affect the ball's flight. So what really matters is how we hit the ball. And how we hit the ball in tennis correctly is we hit the ball forward because you want to give the ball direction. So if I show from this side, we have to hit the ball forward. And also we're trying to move the racket upwards because we want to impart topspin. So from this angle, forward is this and upward is this. So when I'm hitting the ball, that is what I want to do on the ball. I want to hit the ball forward and upward. And the ball leaves the racket very quickly. So long follow-throughs give us the right feeling, but the ball is actually gone already. So keep in mind that all you want to do is hit the ball forward and upward without changing the angle of the racket. So what you want to do is you want to hit forward and upward, and I have explained that before in the racket path video. Now what we need to add, we need to figure out how to give energy to the ball and how we can impart topspin. So we can give energy to the ball in two ways. One way is to rotate, and this rotation, if we simplify a little bit, is about 1/4 of the turn. So it's about 90 degrees from here to here. So we're adding energy to the racket by rotating 90 degrees, and from here on we can simplify and say that the movement is linear and we're using our arm. So it's rotation and arm. So those are the forces that we can use to send the ball there. Now what can we use to impart topspin? So how can we use our bodies best to lift the racket? One, we can just use our legs. So as you can see, I'm just using my legs to move the racket up and down. Second, I can move my shoulder, let's say the whole arm, and I'm moving the racket up and down. Third, I can use my elbow. I bend in my elbow, which means I'm using my forearm, and the racket is going up and down, although then it starts to rotate, but for a short moment it's just going up. And fourthly, I can use my wrist. So my wrist can also impart the topspin, meaning the racket is going up. So your goal is now to combine all three joints in your arm and the legs to generate upward movement, and you also need to combine rotation and moving forward. So now I have rotation and moving forward, and all three joints in the arm and the legs to move the racket upward. So that's all you need to do to hit a good forehand, and all you're looking for now is to generate effortless swing into this moment of contact where you're trying to do this, and then simply relax and release after the contact. I'll now try and isolate the parts, and first I will just show you how to hit the ball forward. So we will not add any upward motion, no topspin. Where does the force come when we want to hit the ball forward? So it comes from rotation and moving the arm forward. So from the side angle, it's like this and forward. For now I'm just talking about closed stance forehand, because open stance forehand is a little bit more complex. So let's keep things simple for now. So if I want to hit the ball forward, I want to bring energy to the racket by rotating and hitting the ball forward. So this is all there is for hitting the ball forward. So now let's take a look how can I impart topspin and which body parts I can use. Okay, so how can we move the racket upwards? We have four ways. The first one is by legs. As you can see, I'm not moving my arm in any way, and I'm just lowering and lifting myself, and as you can see I'm using the net so you can see the movement of the racket more clearly. So I can use my legs to move the racket upward. Then if I isolate, I can just use my shoulder. So as you can see, I'm lifting the racket, and I can lift the racket the most simply by lifting my shoulder. And then I can use my elbow in the elbow, which means I'm using my forearm to move the racket upward. And and it starts to rotate here, as you can see, because we're not really moving the racket like this, but we're moving it slightly like this. But still, in the point of contact, the racket is going up simply by moving my forearm up and to the left. And then I can also use my wrist. So as you can see, my forearm is still now, and I can use my wrist. So in my arm I have 3 joints that can generate or make the racket go upward. So now I need to combine that with my legs, and I have lots of forces and lots of body parts that are moving the racket upward. And the net is a really good place to practice that, because you can see in isolation what's going on. So now you can just try to feel what it is to rotate to the net, and then use legs and arm and forearm and the wrist, and just brush up on the net and simulate hitting the ball. So now you're combining rotation, hitting forward, and hitting upward. And that's what you need to do on the ball. So the ball needs to receive the information of direction, and you will give the information of the height, and you will also spin the ball. So from this angle it's going to look something like this. So that is the key technique of a forehand stroke, and next time I will show the backhand stroke, which is very similar. So it's not that important what are you doing in the preparation, because the preparation is only building the energy so that you can apply a lot of energy in this moment, and it's also trying to find the right path. The preparation is you trying to find the right path so that this movement upward and forward is the most comfortable and natural. And then the follow through is simply releasing and letting your body move as natural as possible. So in that way you can really simplify your forehand, so the next time the ball is flying towards you, you're not thinking about technical movements, but you're actually looking at the ball and imagining what are you going to apply to the ball with the strings of the racket. And what you're going to apply is you're going to apply force forward and upward. So you're just looking at the ball and trying to apply the force in the most natural way, and that's how you will play the forehand very comfortably and effortlessly.